All right, we'll try this again. That was an April Fool's. Speaking of April Fools, did you guys see the Oculus Lift that came out? That was on the Beachbody blog. That was like saying that you could just listen to some audio and automatically like get healthier and more fit and gain muscle. I was like, what is this new product? Like, this is crazy. I can't wait for this thing to launch. I posted it in the coach groups, and then I saw on the wall that it was an April Fool's joke. I thought it was like this cool, like new, like brain thing that they that they invented.
Tony Robbins is supposed to come out with it. You don't have to do any exercise. It's all.
Oh, really? Am I freezing, or is that just my dad freezing?
Did I freeze?
For a second there. Okay. All right. So some cool recognition right now. A couple of new recognition categories that we added, which I'm excited about. So let's start off with new coaches that signed coaches last week. So let's see. I'm going to do like the people that signed more than one coach last week, because there's tons that signed at least one. So with two coaches was Charles Wallace, who is like the newest Team Boom coach, another guy in the Team Boom men diamond ranks. Pretty excited about that. I don't think Annie helped him at all.
I'm wearing his P90X shirt.
Yeah, there you go. With two coaches, Jenna Kleinberg. With two coaches, Joe Quist. Also with two is Lori Sanderson, Margaret Mackerer, Susan Wallace, who I believe is Chuck's mom. So I guess Chuck's mom's killing it as well, apparently. Or Annie's giving coaches away. Tisk, tisk. Sydney Freeman with two. Tracy Rund with two. Brittany Barsky with three. And Carrie Steelman Schmidt with six. Carrie, killing it. Got to chat with her. She's real cool. Okay, so the next thing I got is PV. The top 20 personal volume points from last week. So for the new coaches, PV is your personal volume. That is what you order yourself and what your customers order from you. That's what creates your personal volume. So with the 300 club, with over 300 PV, we had Jennifer Conroy, Kelly Regan, Jill Wagner, Julian Prisco, Amy Morgan, Barb Frevert, killing it, Beth Baker, Matt Bachlet, what? Brittany Hall, Kirsten Barnett, Colin Valenta, Colin, getting into it, Alyssa Sardelli, Melissa Klein, this is the 400 club, Melissa Klein, myself, Whitney DeGrania, Chelsea Delph, and I think Whitney was the top of the personal volume last week. Chelsea Delph in the 400 club. Alyssa Meyer in the 400 club. Also in the 400, Allison Medalino with 472. In the 600 club, we had two people at the top of the list. Kelly Marks, who is pregnant, newly pregnant, fairly new. So make sure you tell her congrats on that. And then at the very top, one of the old dogs, Peter Reelman, at the very top of the list, getting it done. Okay, so moving on to Success Club in March. These are the names of the people that hit Success Club and had 5 points. If you're not on this list and you think you made it, make sure you contact Coach Relations today so that you get your stuff figured out. Okay, so let's see. With 5 points, Kristen Astlis, Elizabeth Grimes, Tangela Lynn, Sarah Carricker, Chelsea Cata, Leanna Hergenredder, Katie Silveria, Allie Monroe, Jessica Wellwood, Kelly Marks, Marie Carl, T. Striley, Elena Diglio, and Joe Policino. With 6, we got Joe Quist, Whitney Leonard, Cassandra Martin, Jenny Dollinger, Sarah Giannano, Robert White, Stephanie Weaver, Stacy Warwick, Margaret Mackerer, Nicolette Sidowitz, Nicole Ramirez, Candace Bruin, Leslie Clements, Melissa Klein, Sydney Freeman, Rachel Masters, Beth Baker, Penny Wood, Lauren Fravel, Abby Delgado, Caitlin Brunell, and Jennifer Gregory. With 7, we had Alyssa, Debbie, Reve Chantel, Jenna Kleinberg, Ashley Groves, Alyssa Sardelli, Michelle Phillips, and Peter Reelman. At 8, we had Heather Lamar, Tracy Rund, Stephanie Eastlick, Sarah Olinsky, Kristen Cohn, Laura Farmer, Robert Rodriguez, Kimberly Opperle, and myself. At 9, we had Trip Knowles, Kirsten Stewart, Jennifer Conroy. At 10, we had Leah Hall, Sarah Marshall, Lori Sanderson, Shauna Valenta, and Andrea Wallace. At 11, we had Kirsten Barnett, Carol Witt, Ashley Feldenson, Jamie Slaughterback, Bridget Moore. At 13, we had Tammy Haiti and Amy Morgan. At 14, we had Janine Hamblin, Rhonda Shute, Jenny Fritz, Carrie Martbando. At 16, we had Terry Bachlet. She's killing it lately. Francesca Calhoun at 17. Barb Fervert at 17, killing it. Amy Reelman at 18, killing it. Allison Madaleno with 20. And again at the top of the list, Carrie Steelman-Schmidt with 21, the new kid on the block that's rocking it out. That is Success Club. Damn. Okay, so I want to give a quick shout out to the leaders that are stepping up this month. Yeah, sorry, Amy. You got 20. My bad. Okay, so I want to give a shout out to the leaders that are stepping up to lead Coach Basics or Push to Emerald or Push to Diamond this month. So Amy and Annie, I was hoping you guys or Alyssa could give a little shout out to your coaches that stepped up to lead April groups.
Sure. Can you hear me?
Brandy Cross and Melissa Klein have been doing a really good job with running Coach Basics. Go ahead, Annie.
Yeah, on it.
Go ahead, Annie.
In our group, we have Michelle Phillips, who's doing the Shooting to Diamond, and Kara Hansen is going to help out with the Path to Emerald. I am doing a Coach Basics, and Brittany Barsky has just made her own coach group, and she's leading a Coach Basics.
For my side, for Coach Basics, we have Teresa Versetto, Kristen Coyne, Genevieve Lee, and Laura Farmer doing Coach Basics. And then for Path to Emerald, we have Jackie Miller and Chelsea Cata who are going to run. And then I'm helping with Shooting to Diamond with Andrea and Michelle.
In my group, I have Caitlin Brunell and Kayla Warner are running Coach Basics together, starting next year.
Awesome. Cool. And then also running Coach Basics, we got Jenny Avina with Caroline Nathan are co-leading another group that's being co-led by Jenny Powell and Trip Knowles. Bridget Moore and Lori Sanderson are leading one, and then Whitney Degrania and Vanessa Ramirez. And Katie Silveria and Sarah Marshall are going to do Coach Basics as well. And I'm hoping that one of those pairings of co-leaders decides they'd rather do Push to Emerald. And then Jake and I are going to do Push to Diamond together and rock that out with mustaches, hopefully. Okay.
Me do my Coach Basics.
Sorry, who's that?
Jennifer Conroy. She's helping me do my Coach Basics group.
Awesome.
We've got some people stepping up too. We've got Melissa Virgil's gonna help, Tanya Bailey, Tammy Haiti. Did I say that right? It's not Haiti, it's Hottie. And Ginger. I got to get that right. And Ginger is going to step up and help. They don't all know it yet, but they're going to.
Ginger will be all over that. She's good. Okay, so this is the new recognition, the other new recognition I want to do. Never done this before. Didn't really even know how to do it before. So I wanted to do a recognition for the top 20 coaches that cycled the most during the week. So I figured there was a way in the Coach Online offices to figure that out. So top 20. So for coaches that are new, team cycle bonus is really the end. That's the big goal, the long-term goal. That's where that residual income comes in. We're going to talk more about that on this call. But basically with a team cycle bonus, every time you cycle, you get, as a diamond, $18. So you can kind of do the math as I go through here. But these are the coaches, the top 20 coaches that for cycling. So with 7 cycles this week was Teresa Versetto, Marie Sardelli, and Chris Bachlet. With 8, Kirsten Barnett. With 9, Shauna Valenta. With 10, there was 3 of them, Stacy Holder, Caroline Nathan, and Marilyn Bourget. With 14 cycles, Pete Reelman. With 15 cycles, Nick Waltz. 16 cycles, Brittany Barsky. 19 cycles, Joel Policino. 20 cycles, Terry Bachlet. Robert Rodriguez with, is that right? I think I messed that one up. I think 22 cycles for Robert. 24 cycles for Alyssa Sardelli. 26 for Amy Morgan. 28 for Michelle Phillips. 35 for Amy Reelman. 59 for my second business center. 61 for Andrea Wallace. 108 cycles for Beth Reelman. And 180 cycles for me, for myself and my first business center. So pretty cool stuff. I never knew that we could look at that kind of thing, but it's pretty sweet. So that is the recognition that you want to be a part of. That's the big one. Okay, another shout out for Kirsten Barnett, who is officially last day of work today and is officially going to be a full-time Beachbody coach / instructor and P90X instructor. Full-time fitness, baby. Killing it. I love it. That's huge.
Nice. Very nice.
Okay, a couple quick announcements. April 1st through the 11th, the next 11 days for the people going to the Cancun trip. If you earn Success Club 10 by April 11th, you get a photo op with the celebrity trainers. If you make Success Club in April, you get a Shalene Johnson bobblehead. How cool is that? Love those bobbleheads. Challenge pack sales. Pio Kickstart is on sale for $180. So that's Pio with a month of Shakeology and the 3-day refresh for $180. The Pio Challenge Pack, just the Pio program with Shakeology, is on sale for $140 this month. P90X3 Challenge Pack is down to $160. I'm not sure why anyone would buy that because the on-demand challenge pack, I just looked today, is $140. I don't know if that's the normal price, but that's what it's at right now. And P90X3 is on demand. So if you have someone that wants the P90X3 challenge pack, they're better off getting the on-demand challenge pack for $140. And then the Ultimate Recess challenge pack is $275. Wow. A lot of stuff. Did I miss anything? Any other announcements before we jump into this?
The new workouts that are being added to Beachbody On Demand.
Yeah, the new workouts. What were the new workouts? Tai Chang and the P90X one-on-one series.
Volume 2.
Rev abs.
Rev Abs and the Asylum Volume 2.
Asylum Volume 2.
So now both Asylums are on there.
Are they adding the workouts that you bought in the past on Team Beachbody or Beachbody?
Yes. They should have already done that.
No.
They've done it to for any program that you bought in the past is now available on your library and on demand?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it is. I saw it on mine, but like if you bought something at Summit, like that's not on there, I don't think. Or if it's in like a second business center and stuff, that's not on your first business center.
Does it pop right up, or do you have to go look for it?
It should be like, yeah, there's a section that says like ones you already own or something, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It says like purchase programs, and then
Yeah.
they would be there.
Oh, okay.
Although I bought T25 at Summit 2 years ago, and then mine is not loaded on my program.
Yeah, my Summit ones aren't either. Only the ones that you've bought on your
You
extra.
have to buy it. You have to buy it at Team Beachbody, or I think at Beachbody.
My 225 is on there, so I would ask them. Just let them know you wanted us on it.
Okay.
Also, keep in mind that if you bought it under a spouse or somebody else, it's going to be under their club membership. Like all of mine are under Tina's, so I have to log into her account to see my past orders.
Cool. Anything else? Thanks, Gustavo, for pointing that out. My boy Gustavo, 18 years old, rocking the business, killing it. Came to the Dallas event. That's right. Wish I did this when I was 18. Okay.
When I was 18, we were allowed to drink.
Yeah. I'm sure you were doing a good amount of that, maybe. Okay.
Not at the men's event though.
No.
It was a dry event. Okay, so at this men's event, the first ever men's event I think there was like 12 Team Boom guys that were there making history at the first men's event. There was 15 guys that kind of led and presented during the event. And these 15 guys combined last year made over $20 million in this business. So they know what they're talking about. One of the quotes I thought was really funny that Keith Callahan said was, he was on stage and he goes, "I love that I can swear at this event." Yeah. There's a lot of swearing going on at this event.
Yeah, a lot of swearing.
You know, but it was funny. It was good though. So Tommy Migrant kicked it off, and he talked about this belief bridge between thinking about doing something and then actually having that success. The bridge from thinking to the actual success is a three steps to that bridge. The first is knowing that you should do it. The second is knowing that you can. And the third is knowing that you will be successful. It's inevitable. Someone echoing right now? You guys mute all yourself. Echo? All right, I think we're good. Okay, then he said, as men, we get deeply attached to a social identity of who we are. And sometimes it seems like Beachbody ain't the cool thing. Are you going to let that hold you back? That has everything to do with your ego in worrying about what other people think. The only thing holding you back is you. So my question is, how is this not the cool thing? We're helping people get healthy and financially fit at the same time. And then Bob Lucido, so that was Tommy Migrant, and Tommy's actually going to be on our team call a week from today, next week, leading our team call. Thanks to Sarah Korbecki for setting that up. And for the guys that were there, they know that they're going to be on next week's call because Tommy is the man, and he will get you fired up. So make sure you're on that call next week, and make sure you get your team on that call. So then after Tommy came up, Keith Callahan and Bob Lucido got up. And these are two guys that I've watched in this business for a long time. You know, I talked about this escalator, how the business is kind of like an escalator. These are two guys that I watched crush it when I was kind of in the stands. And they both lived in Boston, and I just watched their business grow and grow and grow. I remember being at an event that Bob Lucido was hosting, and he wasn't hosting, actually. I met him, and he was just an Emerald like me. And then a year later, he was hosting an event. I was still an Emerald, and he was making six figures in the business. And I remember looking to the person next to me being like, okay, I just met that guy a year ago. We were both Emeralds. Now he's quitting his job as an attorney, and he's a full-time coach. I'm going to do the same thing with this business. I'm going to create a six-figure income, quit my job like he did, and then I'm going to grow a ponytail. So I'm kind of working on it. It's coming along. Got the first two things. I'm working on the third. And then Keith Callahan came along, and he did the same thing. He killed it. So I remember watching these guys, and when they got up on stage, I was so excited that they were going to present. And their whole discussion was the big picture, which I love that. I'm a big picture guy. I like to see what the big picture is so that I know the things I'm doing every day are actually getting me somewhere. So they talked about not just earning an income with this business, but leaving a legacy. it's not about a 6-figure income anymore. It's about beyond that, leaving a legacy, something that will take care of your family for years to come. So with a regular job, when you're done working and you retire, you have your 401k, but your salary is done. If you own most businesses, if you own a company, when you're done or you die, a lot of times that business is done and your family doesn't want to take that over. But with this business, when you're gone, you can leave this business to your family in your will. So they're not even working it, but they're still getting paid because of the hard work that you put in years prior. And that's a legacy that leaves an impact on generations to come. That's a bigger picture than I've ever even thought about, which is so cool. So they said there's 4 pillars to leave a legacy. Number 1 is belief. So Bob Lucido talked to his friend Keith Callahan 3 times before Bob said he was going to do this business with him. The first time Keith just said straight up no. The second time he said no, and dude, I'm kind of getting worried about you. What are you doing in this whole Beachbody thing? You're an attorney. Should I be worried about you? What are you doing wasting your time with this thing? The third time, Bob had just left Summit. After Summit, he called Keith one last time, but this time his belief was something that Keith had to pay attention to. And Bob sent Keith a picture of Christine Dwyer's quarterly bonus check. Quarterly bonus of $120,000. And that got Keith's attention. Plus the excitement and the belief. That's something that I've talked to people about this business before, but I felt like I was kind of bugging them. But once I had that belief, they could sense that. And this wasn't something that I was desperate for them to do. I was going to be successful with or without them. And that's something that going to events does for you. In this business, you can bring your family and friends with you, which was another thing that Keith and Bob talked about. It's very different than any other job. You can't bring your friends and family along with you. Even if you own your own company, a lot of times you can't do that either, which is one of the things, obviously, that I love about this business too. He said the other thing that they focused on was getting the black ribbon, which is the Millionaire Club. So these are some guys that when you go to Summit and you see all these people walking around with these ribbons around their neck, like Success Club and all these cool recognition things, all these high ranks. Bob and Keith, they don't have as many of those cool ribbons, but they do have one, the black ribbon, the Millionaire Club ribbon. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. So the first pillar of leaving a legacy is that belief. The second is the skeleton. So understand that with team volume, when you're building a team of coaches, that team cycle bonus, basically everything that the coaches in your downline are doing, you get 6% of all their sales. Not your sales, 6% of the coaches in your downline sales. That's why it's cool to build a good, strong team. So then the first thing you want to do when you sign up as a coach is sign up your spouse, period, immediately. Because then everything that goes below your spouse, everything all those coaches are doing below them, you get 6%, and so does your spouse. So all of a sudden now it's 12%. And then get yourself the 2-star diamond and sign up your second business center. When you get the 2-star diamond, you get a second business center. Put that below your spouse. So now you're getting 6% of everything that happens below your second business center, another 6% for your spouse, and another 6% for you. 18%. That's not of your sales. That's of your team sales and purchases. 18%. Team bonus, team bonus, team bonus. Not about the rank. Team volume and stacking the business centers. That's the skeleton. So we got belief and then the skeleton. And then the next one is how we build. How did they build this business? So how did we recruit? Keep a 10 in play list. So they always had a list of their top 10 people that they were talking to that they thought would make great coaches or great clients or customers. And if that person all of a sudden it just wasn't for them and they came off their top 10 list, then boom, they add someone else to the top 10 list. I know for me personally, I have so many people I'm talking to that I get like scattered and I'm all over the place. But when I have that list of the top 10 that I have these 10 people with that might be my customers or soon to be customers, and I'm checking in with them daily, I have a more a stronger relationship with those top 10 versus being so scattered over like all these conversations I have going on. So always have that 10 in play. And then he said that they always were sharing with people. This business was too good not to share. If they say no, that's okay. You're going to be successful. It's inevitable. And they said that. And then they talked about the deep-seated belief. So phase 1 of this business is daily disciplines with structure and planning. You have to build your business with purpose. You need a to-do list and goals. Don't just wander. And then number 2, systems and duplication. He said one of the best books he read was called The E-Myth. The E-Myth. Keep it simple and work with the willing. It doesn't matter how many levels deep the coaches are in your team. Volume is volume. Your team is not you and your PS coaches. It's your entire team. Number 3, 30 and 90-day campaigns. Take 30 days and push one thing, nothing else. Whether it's breaking diamonds or breaking emeralds or pushing discount coaches to refer 3 of their friends to Shakeology so that they get their Shakeology for free. But keep it simple and keep that team unity and synergy so that everyone's moving towards the same thing. And that's kind of like the analogy of if you have 5 fingers and say these are like your team members. If you hit somebody with 5 fingers, it's okay, but it's not as strong as if you all come together in a fist and hit somebody. So that team unity and synergy. And then the last of the 4 pillars, so we got belief, the skeleton, how they built, and then the last is leaving a legacy. Being on stage at Summit, it's great. But the only thing better is seeing your team on stage. So the first thing you want to do is get to Diamond. The second thing you want to do is get your spouse to Diamond. The third thing is get yourself to 2-star Diamond so you can open up that second business center. The 5th thing is get to 5-star. 5 5-stars. He talked about this. This is something my mom always talks about too. 5 5-stars is the road to the Millionaire Club. If you want to be a millionaire, that's how you do it. Find and develop 5 5-star diamonds. It's that simple. Why is 5-star important? It's not because of the bonus or recognition. It's for being on that wall and surrounding yourself with other leaders. So the wall is a Facebook group of all the 5-star diamonds and above. So now it's about 5 5-star diamonds below you. You don't want to be a leader of followers. You want to be a leader of leaders. And you want your leaders to be leading leaders of their own. Be a leader of 5 5-star diamonds. That's the path to the Millionaire Club. And those 5 5-stars do not have to be personally sponsored coaches. Okay, so before I go on any further, I want to have some of the guys hop in and share like one thing they learned, one thing they loved from the event. And then I got a couple other things from my notes that I was going to share, but let's get some of these guys in there. Looks like Dad's ready to go.
I'm ready. I'm ready to get it over with. No, really, the events, number one thing I can tell you is that my takeaway is you got to get to events, got to get to events, got to get to events. Also, we got a awesome group of Team Boom guide coaches. I got to throw that in there. But my number one takeaway that I had is everyone has a story, and figure out what your story is and put it together and share your story. Everyone has a story. We had a guy, Bo Weeson, that was a speaker, and that was one of the biggest things I took away. Figure out what your story is and then put it together and share it on Facebook, share it on Instagram. Because what I noticed is a lot of the top coaches who spoke had a lot of things in common, but were also very different. But they all had an incredible story to tell. And like many of them were backed up against the wall. One guy was a paramedic who needed to borrow money from his father-in-law to make ends meet for his family. But now he's a millionaire. Another very, very successful real estate guy who lost everything in the 2007 crash, he now is set for life. The top 10 coach, Josh Spencer, who had a baby and was on government assistance at the age of 25, he now, what do I have to say? He's doing good. But there are also 2 very successful lawyers with families who just saw the enormous potential in this business. even though their friends thought they were crazy, like Pat's already alluded to this, they just thought they were nuts getting into it. But they moved forward and they did it. And then there was 2 cops. I love these stories. There's 2 cops who liked their job. They really did like their job, but they hated to death the politics involved in their work. And now they're super successful elite coaches. One thing that they all had in common, if you listen to them for this one day and for 2 days, was they all had a common belief, a huge belief in the products and in the business. And they had a huge work ethic. They all were really hard workers. Another was that they told people, and I've heard this from Pat said this before, but they all were saying this to me, and I talked to a couple of them. They said, listen, I've told people I want you to join, but if you don't really want to join this, it's fine. But I'm going to go with you or I'm going to go without you. I'd love to have you with me, but if you don't want to go, that's fine. I just want to let you know. I don't want to hear 2 years from now. And the other thing that they all had is they all seem to have accountability partners. You know, if you can get an accountability partner, you really need to. And I could go on and on, but I let some of these other guys talk because this one thing kind of hit me is when you get a little bit older, one of the things you kind of think is you stop learning. Boy, you know, I went to this event, and every time I go to these events, that's why I keep saying go to events. I definitely learn that you need to keep learning. I know I'm not even close to knowing all I need to know. So, you know, once you go to these events, you're going to learn so much and take away from it. And the other thing that I just wanted to say one more thing about, I thought Josh Spencer got up and had some really good points, but I don't want to take all the thunder, so I'm going to let some of the other guys go.
Did anyone have any questions about what my dad or I said before we move on? We got a bunch of other cool stuff here.
You had said something at the beginning about the knowing that you should do it, knowing that you can. What was the third one?
That you will. So doing this business and having success with this business, first knowing that you should, then you see other people doing it and you're like, well, I know that I can. And then you're like, well, I know I will. And that's a process we all go through. And then that last step, knowing that you will be successful, there's different degrees of that belief. That's that belief of it's inevitable you're going to be successful. But you know it will happen. It's just a matter of time. Anyone else?
Oh, Pat, one more thing I wanted to say that I thought was really important. Josh Spencer said that, he said, he has a big work ethic. He said, learn from your failures. We are all going to fail. Josh said, I fail all the time. He said, but make an adjustment and figure out what you did wrong, And lastly, my last thing is figure out what your market is and look for those type of people to connect with to build your market. A lot of the guys are, my top coaches are women and they're the best. I can't deny it, but you also have to look at some of the people that you relate with. If you want to, like Josh said, I want some guys that like to work out and pump, and drink beer. If that's what you want, people you want to relate with, then look for that market. That's it.
Yeah. Pitch to your niche. Awesome. Cool. Any other questions you guys had about that stuff before we get on? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Joe, you want to go next?
Yeah, the first thing that I really loved about it, well, not the first thing, but the thing, it was nice to be with a group of guys and just have that male bonding thing going on. Since we retired with the fire department, I haven't been that surrounding with just guys. And I love the family atmosphere with Team Boom and everything, but it was just nice to be able to just, shoot the shit and see, there it goes with the guys again. But just doing the thing with the guys and what was cool about, you stand next to guys making $20,000 a week or something insane, and he's just like, any one of us, down to earth, willing to help each other, and, no airs about anybody. It was really cool. Pete covered practically everything that we talked about, and they were all important points that they made on stage. The one thing is, this business is on you. I mean, you're going to get help from your upline, cross lines, whatever, but it's all on you, man. You got to take this and you got to run with it and you got to be your best. And you can see like the successful guys, all those guys in the front row, they've been around a while. And, we were given the GoPro audio, and I've been listening. I read the book a couple of times, but I listened to the audio a couple of times this week as well since I've been back. And, Eric Worre says, it takes 7 years to become an expert. So we're not going to learn everything today. We're not going to learn everything in the next year or 2 years, and neither did those guys that made all the big bucks. So take your time, be patient, and it's inevitable.
Hashtag it. Awesome. Cool. Anyone have any other questions about that? No. How about we move on to Jakin?
Hello, everyone.
Known as Jake.
Jakin, whatever.
From State Farm.
One of the recurring themes that I saw throughout the weekend was that we have to adjust our thinking. A lot of that was the belief that they talked about. That one hit me the hardest. Lack of belief will kill you before you get started. And they said, if you believe enough, people will eventually believe you. Patrick talked a lot about that. Believe in yourself, you can do it. Failure, if you're not successful, it's your fault. If you're getting rejection, you asked for it. So you need to adjust your thinking. You are doing people a favor when you talk about this business. You present this as though it's a gift to them. And don't be afraid of that, because you like helping people and you like getting paid for it. So do doctors. So see a need, fill a need, and get paid. That's the way to do it. And stop treating coaching as a hobby. This is a lifestyle. Enroll your coaches in the future. Don't just sign them up. Help people have successes, because once they get a check, they're not going anywhere. And people who are just interested in this business are not committed. You need people who are committed. And then the other thing I picked up, and this was early on, of course, Bo Eason talked a lot about it, is different teams run different offenses. So quit worrying about what other people are doing. Pick an offense, run it to the best of your ability. I mean, you can learn from others and how they do it, but don't bounce from thing to thing. Find your niche and master it.
Boom. Well said. Well said, sir. How about Wade, the push-up machine?
My biggest takeaway is I think I tore something in my tricep. Couldn't figure that out the next day.
I couldn't believe that.
One-handed push-up got me. My biggest takeaway, and it was nothing that was said during the event, and it didn't hit me till the end, but when I signed up about a year ago, I saw what Patrick was doing. He was killing it, and I would love to do that, but thought I kind of missed the boat. It was a little bit too late, signed up too late. And near the end of the event, I looked around, and there was 430 guys in the U.S. and Canada that committed to coming to this leadership course, and I was one of those 430. And thanks, Pat, for bringing us all. But I thought that was pretty awesome. It gave me a whole new outlook on, there's tons of room to grow.
Yeah, you literally have just scratched the surface with this thing. Pretty
and
cool.
like what Joe was saying, it felt like being on a team again, hanging out with all the guys, and that's something I haven't had in probably 10 years. I thought that was real cool just to hang out and bond with some of the guys. So it was fun. We all appreciate it, Pat.
The bromance, man. It is. It's like that Maslow's pyramid of hierarchy of needs, and one of them is like that team. That sense of belonging to something bigger than yourself. And a lot of guys out there, they're living the glory days of high school, talking about how amazing that was. And that was the highlight of their life. And I kind of was the same way. I always talked about oh my God, high school was amazing. Football, basketball, lacrosse, all American in college. That's the highlight. That was it. Until I found this and became a part of something bigger than myself again. And I have that I lost that part of me when I graduated college, and I didn't have that team anymore. And I think a lot of guys that are former athletes, they're missing that too. And this is a great way to find that again, especially now that there's like a bigger push for men to get involved with this and being able to go to these events. So I'm pumped that I got one of my buddies from my hometown, Wade, on board, and I know that him being in this and having success is only going to bring more of our Skinny Atlas boys into this. And we're
I'm
all
working on it
together. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. Cool. All right. How about Dave? Beastly.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, man?
I guess what going on with Joe said, nice to be around. I mean, I love the Team Boom family, of course. And it's obviously mostly, 70, 80% women. Just nice to be around, group of guys for a weekend within the Beachbody business. Because I guess it's like a different we have different views, ideas, outlooks on things. So that's just nice to share that with Beachbody guys.
Sure.
I guess, of course. Just, of course, get to live events. They are life-changing. Like, you'll meet so many people, so many inspirational people, like top coaches, people to look up to, and just share ideas with them and, just network, and your business will move forward as a result. So just get to live events. I guess speakers that kind of resonated with me was Josh Spencer at the end. He's definitely like a big workhorse, and he was 2010 top coach, I believe. But he kind of stressed going for your own market and your own niche, and I agree with that because if you look around, like Lindsay Matway, all her coaches kind of look like her. They're like the pretty girl, blonde, usually good looking. But I don't know. You just basically you attract the people that are like you, and when you're building relationships with those people, they're more likely to join you because you already had the same views and ideas on life. So just I don't know, don't look at these like top 10 coaches and think you have to do exactly what they're doing, I guess. Just go for your market and your niche.
Awesome.
I think that was a really important point he kind of stressed.
Yeah, with the man cave. So that was Josh Spencer has like a man cave, like a Facebook group that he adds like all his male customers to. And there's nothing off limits in that group. Anything goes. The only thing off limits is no women are allowed to join it. So we started a Team Boom Man Cave, which is pretty fun. We started it yesterday. There's some good stuff going on in there.
No backless dresses and stilettos.
What's that?
No open back dresses and stilettos.
Yeah.
What about fake hair and fake eyelashes? Are those allowed?
Yeah.
I think you'd look pretty good in an open back dress, Joe.
Yeah, you would. You got a nice back.
Lola is not invited.
Yeah, it's funny, like, I think Joe and Dave said it, like, you go to these events and you meet these people, or you don't meet them at first, like you see them on stage, and you kind of have them on this pedestal. And you look at them and you see them talking about all their success, and they're making $20,000 a week and all that stuff. And then they share their struggles with you, the things that they went through when they first started. And there, a lot of times the struggles are a lot worse than the ones that we have to go through. They just have ridiculous work ethic. And then you meet them after the event. Like Josh Spencer came up to us at the end of the night. We were sitting at the lobby bar, and he came up and just kind of put his arm around us, and he was just shooting the shit. He's just a down-to-earth guy that worked his butt off. It's not like he's amazing at any of this stuff. He just works hard and talks to more people and has a sickening belief that he's going to be successful, and people see that and they want to be a part of something like that. So, but he's just a normal guy, just like anyone else. It's just every one of those guys on stage were. How about
Find story. You got to find your story. I thought that was
Yeah, they said like with the story thing, like you don't have to like post your entire story all at once on Facebook, like little stories, like I posted that the other week about like when I was 11 years old, the contest at school with trying to sell magazines, little stories like that people can relate to. Those stories are great because that connection that's how it's created. But then like, as far as like your story, man, like, I don't know if they were talking about like a specific, like your story. It was more like general stories, things that where you met adversity and how you overcame those things. We all have had adversity we faced, little things, whether it's trying to sell 20 magazines and a bunch of people telling you no and slamming the door in your face or whatever it is. Those are the stories that people want to hear and connect with you. They want to see that you've failed and you've struggled and you're still moving forward. That's what people like to see.
And most of those coaches had those situations. I mean, a lot of them did. They came out of some pretty horrific situations, and they rose to be, top coaches.
Right. Okay, cool. How about Gustavo, the 18-year-old boy wonder?
Actually, the same thing that Peter was talking about, about sharing your own story, I didn't realize how important that was until, Bo Eason said that. And I didn't realize that this whole time, I've been telling people my story and that they actually get interested. Like, since I'm a new coach and this was my first event, I was, a little shy at first. I didn't know anybody. I was just waiting in line, and people they were kind of looking at me. They're like, he looks pretty young. So somebody came up to me. He's like, hey, what's your name? How old are you? And, I tell them, they're like, whoa, how long have you been interested in this? I just start talking and start telling them my story. And people, they can't believe it. They see me like as, I don't know, a really rare kid. And I tried telling kids at school about this. Some of them, they're interested, but of course they're skeptical. They're teenagers. They don't really want in on this. They want to go out. They want to party. They want to buy shoes. They want to buy clothes. But there's a very small number of kids at school who are like, hey, you've been doing this since you were 13. When I was 13, I didn't do anything. And when you were 13, you did Insanity. And since then, you've done P90X 1, 2, 3, and you just did Max 30, and you look great. One of those big bodybuilders, you actually look like you're in shape. Some people are actually interested. They want to try this because of what I've done, what I've told them that I've done. So, I think the sharing your story is the like, what do I say? The number one thing you should be working on. The most important.
Yeah. Love it. Cool, man. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, Gustavo, man, be very, very proud of yourself for, taking this leap and moving on with your life in a positive way, and surround yourself with people that are older than you. A lot of people say, well, Joe's 55 years old. I ain't talking to him. But, we all learn from each other. I'm going to learn from you. I'm going to learn from everybody else in this group, and hopefully, it'll be reciprocated too. So, like I said to you, you're 18. One diamond a year for 15 years. You'll be doing pretty good.
Actually, I want to give a shout out. I want to say thanks to Dave, who actually switched me over to Team Boom. Because before I had a coach who, there was, very little communication with. And there was actually other coaches who I guess have heard of me, and they're like, hey, join our team. We want you. You're like the youngest person who's into this. We want you on our team. And out of all of them, Dave was the one that got me. So because of Dave, I'm here on your team. So thank you, Dave.
Dave's the man.
Way to go, Dave.
Shout out taken. You're going to kill it, Gustavo.
Imagine where Gustavo's going to be when he's 30 years old.
Yeah.
He's got 12 years. It's crazy. Good deal. Cool. I think that's all the guys that were at the event that are on right now. I was going to have, I'm going to call her out, Bridget, share what Lee thought about this. Because I know a lot of you women have spouses, husbands that are at different levels with their support in this business. I'm sure not a lot of them are doing the business. Some of them are supportive. Some of them are kind of indifferent. So I just wanted to hear Bridget share a little bit about what this event did for Lee, who really didn't have much of an interest other than just kind of the background support.
Yeah, he would always point people to me. Like, he fans a lot. He's like really salesy with it, like with his friends. So he would just point them in my direction. But like after your event on Saturday, he called me and he's telling me all about it, telling me about the like NFL references and the game plan and things like that. And he really enjoyed Bo Eason. He said he almost got teary-eyed, which for a big athlete, like that's interesting. But yeah, so he says he wants to be Emerald in 2 weeks. So by Cancun, he's got like his list of people he's working with, and this like he's already made his own like group of people. And he's just a money guy. Like he loves his job, he makes good money, but he always wants more. And I don't know, he said somebody said like for men, adrenaline is like a big thing. Like the reason adrenaline. The reason guys cheat is because of the rush. Like it's not because they really care to like have sex with some random person, but it's like a rush to do that. So he was talking about his adrenaline rush when it comes to like he's into cars and money. So he's like, oh, so I just have to do Beachbody and earn money so I can buy cars so I don't cheat on you. Like this is what my husband said to me. So I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, this morning he sat for an hour watching like the why video when you start new coaches. Like he sat and watched that whole video, and then he just kept clicking on YouTube for more videos. So he's pretty into it. And so I'm really excited that Pat, you convinced him finally to go. And now I'm just worried what's this going to do to our marriage. Because now he's like sitting on the internet, like doing Beachbody all the time. I was like, I don't think I can handle this. But obviously like the event, like this was his, I guess, really third event with Beachbody coaches. He went to Delray, which was more of a fun thing. And then he went to Denver, but he didn't really do the whole John Maxwell thing. He just hung out with us like at nighttime. But this was his first like real Beachbody event. And he's hooked. He's like, man, they got me. He like was talking to me another night on the phone. He's like, they got me. Like all I'm thinking about is Beachbody. So you got to get to the events.
Love it. Good deal. Is he coming to Summit? And he'll be at Cancun.
He'll be in Cancun. He has to bid his time off every October for his job. So there's no way he'll make it to Summit but next year we'll know what time Summit is. So in October he can bid for time off, government work.
Cool. The last thing I just want to say was like one thing that besides like the leaving a legacy, that this is something that is going to be creating a ripple effect of more people getting healthy and creating that financial freedom long after we're gone. And it's going to help our families for generations to come. But the other thing I took away was that in this business, and Josh Spencer said this, understand, and this is something we all have to understand, is that you're going to face adversity and you're going to fail. He says he sits down with his coaches and he tells them that they're going to fail 1,000 times for every one success, and that failure is your friend. Your success is going to be based on your ability to handle failure. There's also a direct correlation between your growth and your bank account's growth. The more you learn, the more you earn. The number one rule in this business, invest more money and time in yourself than anything else. I thought that was really cool. So that's all I got. Was there any other guys that I missed?
I think that was it. Actually, to all of you guys going to Summit, I hope you guys have a blast. I really wish I could go, but I can afford a ticket, but the trip it'll be too much for me. So unfortunately, I won't be able to be there at my first Summit this year, but you can definitely see me there next year for a fact. All right.
So when you're 19.
Yeah.
19 and mature.
Still not old enough to drink.
Yeah. We also had Jacob Reefers was there. He's 20. So we had to make sure that the bar was okay with letting him in. and they like had to make sure he had like a special wristband on. But
Yeah.
these young bucks coming up, killing it already. I love it. Wish I knew about this stuff when I was still in college or coming out of college.
Make it known we did not buy him any drinks, though.
Yeah, there was no underage drinking. That's for sure. Not at all. Well, that's all I got. Let's do a little boom on three. And remember that Tommy Migrant, he was a top coach a few years back. And the guy is just a ball of energy. So make sure you're on that call next week and get as many coaches on that camp. We gotta pack this thing out. All right, guys, get a boom on three, and then we're out of here. See you guys on the stuff. Oh yeah. All right. 1, 2, 3. Boom! All right. Later, guys.
Bye.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.